Was going on Joe Rogan like just a was it just shocking to even walk into that studio? Because I can only imagine just being in there would just be like, I don't know, just intimidating. Like I'm not even sure what it would feel like.
Nah, because he's a super down to earth dude, easy to talk to. He does a good job making you feel comfortable in there because I'm sure he understands like his status and what being on that show means and the viewership and whatnot. So, he's super cool, super down to earth. That's really what shocked me is just how down to earth he is. He's got $100 million deal with Spotify. He
Yeah.
interviews like the best specialists and experts in damn near any particular field, and yeah, it's so I think he knows where he's at and what he's doing, and so yeah.
I just had like as soon as you started talking about your ego death with the DMT at Henry Cejudo's house, I just felt like that was like in your back pocket of like, okay, I can pull this out at any moment, and Joe's
Well,
gonna just fucking love me.
well, that's how I got invited to go on the show because him and I got to talking about DMT, and he was
Really?
like, "Hey, you want to come get on the show and talk about?" It? And I was like, "Yes, absolutely."
I mean, yeah. I mean, why not talk about it on the world's biggest platform that you can? But so is that just? I mean, because you're at Fight Ready now with Henry Cejudo, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I was. Me and the owner had some differences, so I don't think I'll be going back there anymore.
Well, Henry Cejudo's house sounds like a good time
Yeah,
from
yeah. It
what I
was.
heard on that.
He's married with kids now, so he doesn't do that kind of stuff as much anymore. So yeah, but it was quite the experience for sure.
I've been trying to convince young Sal to have an ego death like that for for a solid year now, but his ego is through the roof, Eryk. I don't know what to do with this guy.
Give it a go, man. Give it a try.
I'll consider it.
Just blast off and meet the elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is I don't know. It was just it's wild to because I'm not somebody who listens to Joe all the time anymore. But when I used to, I always felt like going on there. I have so much that I would love to talk to him about, like in that world of just like, I mean, even and then you started talking about how every single time you would smoke weed after that, you would just start to get extremely paranoid, and I was like, I can totally relate to like everything. It's interesting how like one thing will start something else.
Yeah. Have you ever done DMT?
I have.
Yeah,
I have, and in like a very similar sense of like it was like a weekend of it because you're doing it for like the entire weekend, and then it takes like the last time for you to like truly break through, and then once you break through, you're just like, oh, okay, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, it's a crazy experience, and I've done it
It
like
is.
3 more times since then, but never
Yeah.
had quite the same experience as I did the first time. So maybe
Right.
I didn't do enough, or maybe you know, maybe I'm like chasing the dragon kind of thing. But yeah, each time has been different, and I got something different out of it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that unless you experience it, to explain it is impossible, and to experience it yourself is it's like it's an earth-shattering experience that like literally leaves everything else. It puts everything else into perspective in this really interesting way, and it makes I don't know, it makes like bullshit to detect bullshit. It becomes like so obvious in every situation in your normal day life, and then like everything in that world is it just all of your questions become instantly answered, which is that's a unique thing because we all are walking around on this earth just with endless questions.
Well,
And not that we don't still have them, but for some of those loud ones it definitely helps. And like with the ego death thing is something that the beautiful thing about DMT is everybody has this same experience, and that's what's so weird. And to say it's like, oh, this hallucinogenic like that's not what it is, like, because nobody would be like, people wouldn't be having identical experiences if there wasn't something genuinely going on out there.
yeah, I try to like. People ask me about it now who have never done it, and as I'm explaining it, I see their face, I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, listen, dude, you're not gonna understand what I'm talking about until you do it or try it,
Right.
you know. Um, yeah, for me, like it was being able to admit certain things to myself that I wasn't able to admit, and like find a reason for, okay, this happened because of that, or that happened because of this. But it just kind of gets you like, dude, it's your fault. Kind of get you to admit things to yourself that your ego or whatever you want to call it wouldn't allow you to, or see that side of the story or whatever it is. So yeah, it's been. I recommend it to people, but you have to be ready for it. If you're not ready for it, you're gonna freak out,
For
and
sure.
maybe you don't get
I,
anything out of it.
I'm the same way. Like I'm somebody who, if I don't know, I would recommend mushrooms to everybody as well. Like I just think this earth would be a way more peaceful place to live on, and I don't know. It's like, but at the same time, like you said, it's not for everybody. Like weed can sometimes just totally be the wrong thing for. Like they can have a psychological break on it. They can get extremely paranoid. But not. I don't think paranoia is a bad thing. Like I think you learn from your paranoia. But like panic attacks are scary. Like, and if you've never had one of those, you'll think you're absolutely having a heart attack. Like the first one that I ever had, I was like, oh no, my dad died of a heart attack. This is exactly what's happening to me right now. But then you start to realize it's like, oh, this is 100% controllable in my head.
Sure. Like, yeah, I don't think I ever had like a panic attack or nothing like that. But like, like the first time I smoked weed after I did the DMT, and it's probably gonna sound weird, but like it kind of feels like the spirit of the toad is like kind of lives inside you, and I could just
Yeah.
like feel like the toad like felt like it was angry at me, you know what I mean?
Mm,
And
yeah.
then I talked to somebody about that, and they were talking about like frequencies of drugs or whatever, and like weed is a low frequency
Mm,
uh, drug. So like, I don't know. Like I said, it sounds weird whenever you say it out loud or whatever. But
no, but I know what you're talking about.
I
Like weed can
truly
make people.
believe, like,
Yeah.
and then maybe it was just my body telling me that you don't need that stuff no more. Because I always thought I was doing it for fun, So I just like being high, I like the way it makes me feel or whatever. But
Right.
maybe subconsciously I was like running away from something or putting something off or whatever it is.
And that voice in our head is, it can be loud, but it's telling us the truth.
Sure.
And but I know what you're saying, because like you can always justify something that feels good. It's like, okay, cool, I'm doing this for this reason, but like that inner voice that you have is probably trying to help you in some way. I mean, there's definitely been times in my life where I'm like, okay, cool, I'm taking a 6-month break from this, or like whatever it is, and like those times I feel great, and then afterwards I'll go back to doing whatever, and I'm like assessing it. I'm like, am I being more productive now or less? And I'm like, or is it the same? Like, am I getting more ahead in life? Like, because I'm always like trying to like weigh it out in my head. But I definitely know what you're saying. Like, if there's something telling you, like trying to guide you, like you're the toad can be an honest voice to go off of. So I understand that.
Yeah, you just gotta listen to it. I feel like some people may not have the experience and just be like, okay, cool,
Yeah,
and then don't take anything from it or whatever. So I don't know. Like I said, you gotta be ready for it.
absolutely.